It is that time of year again. It is time for the A-League ladder predictions. I did a video a couple months ago doing an early ladder prediction, which I thought would be fun. It's fair to say a lot has changed since then. This one's going to look a lot different to my earlier ladder prediction. Let's jump into it. Last place. Who will be picking up the wooden spoon for 2023? 24 in the A-League men's. I've got Wellington Phoenix. And this is, look, it's been an ongoing thing with Wellington Phoenix. In past years, I've called them to finish sort of bottom two, and they've surprised. But there's no way that Wellington Phoenix play finals this year. That's the big take for me. I can't see it happening at all. When you look at the ins and outs for all the sides, Wellington are right down the bottom in terms of, what they've done to sort of strengthen the squad. The big win for them is that they managed to keep a hold of Oscar Zawada, who was fantastic for them last season. But it's a very youthful approach this year for Wellington Phoenix. And of course, they don't have Ufuk Talay. I mean, he was a huge factor to why they were so successful and finishing the top six in recent years. But look, Giancarlo Italiano, Wellington Phoenix could surprise. He could come in and, get these young players, integrated into the squad really, really quickly. But I just can't see it happening. You compare their squad up against so many other A-League squads, and I don't see Wellington Phoenix winning many games this season. I don't have anything against Wellington Phoenix. I would love to see them succeed. I do love watching Wellington Phoenix play. And I hope they get some great crowd numbers at home this season. And as we know, this could potentially be the last A-League season, with Wellington being the only New Zealand club, potentially. We'll wait and see. Wellington Phoenix, they are picking up the wooden spoon for me. Second bottom for me is Newcastle Jets. Jets are a team who I'm really excited to watch this year. I mean, despite being my rivals, being a Mariners fan, similar sort of story to Wellington Phoenix. Not the most impressive transfer window. New head coach in Robbie Stanton, who was an assistant last year. Some young players coming in. They've done a decent job to pick up some young players from rival clubs. Lockie Bayliss, Clayton Taylor joining from Mariners and Sydney FC respectively. Up front, that's where the question mark is for them. I mean, they've got a couple options there. You've got the likes of Bahagia, Archie Goodwin, and Apostolos Stamatolopoulos coming in now. It's interesting to see what, Jets are going to do up front there. Defense is a bit of concern for me as well. They haven't really recruited in that area, and that could be another, concerning area for them. Losing Angus Thurgate, Beckham Mickeldadze, some of the best players in the last couple of years, big losses for Newcastle Jets. I think this will be a year where they won't play finals, but there'll be, exciting signs for the future. I think with those young players getting some serious game time in the A-League this season, there's a chance that Jets, could maybe make a push for finals next year. The first hot take of this ladder prediction, I've got Adelaide United finishing 10th. Potentially not a hot take though. This might be a spot where a lot of people are calling Adelaide to finish this year, and a lot of it is off the back of losing the best player in the A-League, Craig Goodwin. And when you lose someone of that quality, you're losing assists, you're losing goals, you're losing points. Without Craig Goodwin, they're simply not going to win as many games. Having said that, as we know, Adelaide are one of the best clubs in the league when it comes to producing young talent. Huge seasons coming up for the likes of Nestor Irankunda, Bernardo Oliveira, Ethan Alagic, Johnny Yule. All these guys are going to get massive game time this year, I'd expect. Filling the void of Craig Goodwin is just simply impossible, though. Still concerns defensively. They haven't really, again, recruited in that sort of area, and they were leaky defensively last year, despite having a pretty successful season overall. It's not an overly inspiring starting 11. There's not enough quality there to push into the top six, to hold that place in the top six this year, in my opinion, for Adelaide United. Again, another one of those teams where they have really, really exciting young talent who could be set for breakout seasons. Adelaide, though, I've got them in 10th. Falling into 9th place, again, I've got Perth Glory, and they're a team I did want to put higher on my ladder prediction. I think, the appointment of Alan Stajic is a fantastic appointment. He's proved to be a fairly successful coach in his time in the A-League. Some decent new signings as well, the likes of Jared Carluccio from Western Sydney Wanderers, Oli Bizanik over from Wanderers as well. There's a good balance as well in that team of experience and youth. You've still got, Latchman and Beavers in centre back, and some good young players who, again, could have breakout seasons this year for Perth Glory. But there's just still a lot of question marks in terms of, how they go competing against some of the top sides in the competition. Are they, seriously a chance of jumping into the top six? I think if they do, it won't be any higher than 5th for me. I think I could see them sneaking into 5th or 6th. But who knows? There could be the surprise package this season. As I mentioned, did want to push them higher. I don't think they'll finish, anywhere near the bottom two this year. Perth Glory in 9th place for me. Another potentially controversial take, but in 8th place, I have Brisbane Roar. Brisbane Roar obviously enjoyed a fantastic Australia Cup run, made it to the final. Unfortunately for them, lost out to Sydney FC. Such an impressive side. Ross Aloisi has really turned the culture around at the club. I love the team that they've put together. They're performing well. Good young players who are already having breakout seasons. I mean, Thomas West Waddingham has been scoring goals for fun in the Australia Cup. Can they do it in the A-League? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they have the squad depth, if they have the quality to be playing finals this year. You look at some of the teams in that top six, some of the giant clubs, and it's going to take a lot for Brisbane Roar to defeat those sides and to really charge up into the finals. Again, this is a season where I think Brisbane Roar will continue to improve things they already have on and off the field. That is clear. I would love to see them play finals football. I would love to see, the Brisbane Roar of old return. But is this the year that Brisbane do it? Again, similar to sort of Newcastle Jets, I think this is a season where they continue to build, they continue to improve. Look, finishing in the same spot they did last year would be frustrating for Brisbane Roar, but I think it might be a tough ask to push into the top six this year. 7th place for me, just missing out the top six, is a team I don't think people are talking about enough, and that is MacArthur FC. The squad that they put together is seriously capable of playing finals football. The signing of Adelaide United up top is a good one. With a fit Ulysses De Villa behind him, Danny De Silva, Rafael Borges Rodriguez potentially with a big season this year. And then you got decent midfield options, with Bacchus and Clayton Lewis in there. The defense is looking pretty solid as well. This is a team that, to be fair though, in the past, they have put together decent squads but have really struggled. I thought last year they had a pretty decent squad as well, but I guess injuries really let them down last year, and that's all them pick up the wooden spoon. But a team with enough quality players like they do have should be coming really close to finals. Going to be interesting to see how they go juggling the AFC Cup in the opening couple months of the season. MacArthur FC could come close, but just a 4 short this year. Just holding their place in the finals this year is Central Coast Mariners for me. My team, look, a lot of transition, so many key players leaving after that incredible championship winning season last year. Nick Montgomery's the biggest loss though, losing the head coach who was so crucial to that success last year. It's a massive departure, and Mark Jackson coming in, it's going to be interesting to see how he goes settling in and gelling those new players into the team, the likes of Angel Torres, Mikael Docker, you got Ali Kowal returning to the side. And I do think it's worth pointing out as well, I think the Mariners will play finals. You still look at the spine they have and it's really solid. I mean, captain Danny Vukovic in goals was great last year. Brian Kaltak, one of the best centre backs in the league. You still got Jacob Farrell, Josh Nisbet, Max Ballard, these young players who were so impressive last season and over the last couple of years for the Central Coast Mariners. There's still a good crop of players and they shouldn't be dropping out of top 6. I think that'll be a huge disappointment considering the quality that Mariners still have to fall out of finals. 6th place is realistic for me. I think there's some stronger arguments for some of the clubs above them this year. And one of those clubs above them for me is Western United. I'm really excited about Western United. John Aloisi, his side really underwhelmed last year after they picked up the championship a couple of years ago. They just missed out on finals and just really struggled for consistency. But the squad they have this year, in my opinion, has improved a lot. Bringing in the likes of Daniel Pena, Rika Danzaki, exciting attacking players. Nikita Rukavica could potentially have a big year as well. A good experience signing up at the top end of the pitch. Losing Alexander Prijovic is a loss, but again, joining Rukavica, you got the likes of Noah Botic, Michael Roos. There's good options in the front third. James Donachie, a solid A-League signing at the back, and Angus Thurgate in midfield. There's a lot of areas across the pitch that we can talk about, and they still have 2 of the best fullbacks in the competition in Josh Risdon and Ben Garuccio. Western United, you look at the squad as a whole, should be playing finals this year. In 4th place, I'm expecting a big bounce back from Tony Popovic's side, Melbourne Victory. This is one of the teams that I think we could discuss a lot. And from what I gather online, people aren't necessarily expecting them to jump into the top 6, which surprised me because you look at the signings that they have made and it's impressive. I mean, Shash coming in, young Olyroos midfielder Ryan Teague as well. And, with Jake Brimmer coming back, that's basically like a new signing. He missed a good chunk of last season through injury. And, he picked up the Johnny Warren medal a couple of years ago. There's a really capable squad here at Melbourne Victory, and we haven't even mentioned Daniel Arzani, who could be set for a big season under the guidance of Tony Popovic. A good team, a really strong team with decent depth. The one area of concern for Victory is up top. The only real recognised striker is Bruno Fornaroli. Who else do they put in that position? They could have, put the likes of Falami or maybe even Valupale out there through the middle. But overall, squad depth is pretty solid for Melbourne Victory. They should be pushing up this year. 4th place, I think, is a fair finish for them. Jumping into 3rd place for me is Western Sydney Wanderers, a team who I'd expect to succeed once again this year. The only real area of concern for me is in defence. I mean, the loss of Tommy Machella was massive. I put him in my team in the season last year. They have brought in young defender Donny Gurdich. He could be set for a big season. Maybe Tom Beadling with a more pivotal role in the first team. But keeping Marcelo, they've still got the likes of Brandon Abrello, who was fantastic last season. Adding some pace with the likes of Dylan Parias, Lachlan Brook as well, back in the A-League. And then Marcus Antonsen, who already grabbed a couple of goals in the Australia Cup, could be set for a big year and could, create a really nice partnership with Brandon Borrello up top. Josh Brillante adding some strength into that midfield. Again, a team that should be winning most of their games this year, especially strong at home. Western Sydney Wanderers in third. And just above them in second place is Sydney FC, winners of the Australia Cup for 2023. Such a strong team that they put together this year. I love the signings of Gabriel Lacerda and Fabio Gomez. I mean, Gomez, that substitute appearance in the Cup final, I think that, gave us a really good sort of taste of what he's going to be like this season in the A-League. A player who is seriously going to cause a lot of headaches for A-League defenders this year with his height, with his pace, with his trickery. And we've already seen he has a decent finish on him as well. So I think for Sydney FC, this is a fascinating campaign for them where, the last couple of years have been maybe a little bit mediocre by their standards. They could really, really challenge this year. Sydney FC with a good squad, decent depth, good balance of youth coming through as well. Second place for them. And that means finishing top is Melbourne City. I think City will pull through in the end. Some concerns about them, some concerns about the head coach, the squad. How is it shaping up for this season after so many departures? There is enough there for me to say that Melbourne City will finish top. But it won't be by a massive margin like it maybe has been in the previous years. I think it'll come right down to the wire. I think we're going to have a really exciting title race. Maybe the top 3-4 teams really, really close, all the way to those last couple of rounds. But Melbourne City, you still got Curtis Good there, Jamie McLaren up top. And the signings that they have made are, of the highest quality when it comes to the A-League. Tolga Arslan, Hamza Saki, Aziz Bayic. Curious to see how the likes of Leo Natel, Marin Jakalic go settling in the wide positions. A really, really strong squad. Yes, they do have to balance Asian Champions League, but a squad that has, the depth to do that, in my opinion. Should be finishing top. Do Sydney FC have enough to challenge them, potentially Wanderers or even Victory? Yes, I could see it happening. But I don't think we will see this massive slide from City. I did in my earlier ladder prediction call that, but I think with some of the signings that they have made, they have well and truly replaced those quality players that they did lose from last year. City to have another successful season. But again, won't be by much. It'll be close at the top. So there's my ladder prediction. Feel free to drop yours in the comments section below. We'd love to start the conversation with you guys. So let me know your thoughts. If you want more A-Leagues fan content, make sure you stay subscribed here to Coast Football. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.